What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm in a museum, as y'all can see. I'm in a museum. Y'all see that? Y'all see that ancient stuff? That's ours. I was trying to take people to another portion of the museum, but they of course got it closed off. Yeah, they got it closed off. So I'm gonna have to go to that one later. What's up? What's up? So I'm at this museum, right? Y'all know I like studying, right? Y'all know I like studying. So I'm at this museum, right? I'm seeing all our stuff around us. Now, it's something funny. I ain't gonna be long. I ain't gonna take y'all time long. What's up, family? Y'all know how we kind of done for the most part with the lives, but I did want to, since I was at this museum, I wanted y'all to catch something. What's up? Give y'all just a little second, little moment to come in. Now, it was some Mississippian people that was over in Cahokia, Illinois. We was building this about 1,000 years ago. Right? Now, that's a lie. They weren't no Cahokian people. They were Moors, okay? Not only were they Moors, it's funny how when I come into this museum, this is in St. Louis. When I come into the Missouri Museum, you see a lot of things like this, but they don't tell you nothing about the Moors. Everything starts from like the 1800s, right? That was like the original White House type thing, right? They don't tell you about that type of stuff in your greatness. Notice they don't got no pictures of people in it either. You know, these just memories of stuff. But I'm gonna show you a little map real quick. I ain't gonna be too long, so y'all make sure y'all share, do what y'all gotta do if y'all want this history to get out to your family. There's some other parts and places that I want you to see too, like just to see your greatness. Now, for those who don't believe that this is Morocco, we got a little proof during this video. Watch this. Watch how this happens. Watch how this works. So, I don't know if y'all ever learned about the Louisiana Purchase. Okay. Now, before they made it one little state, the Louisiana Purchase was a whole middle form of the land, which was over here. The whole land itself was our land. It was called Morocco. I ain't gonna show y'all too much in here because it's some disrespectful. Like the energy in here is just not right. So, I want you to focus on one key thing. This is the ground plans of the Louisiana Purchase explosion. St. Louis, Missouri, 1904. Keyword 1904. Now, first look at the look at that. You see how the south is up north and the north is down south and the west is east and the east is west. So you see how they flipped already? They didn't flip the compass. So now everybody's direction is off whenever they're looking for something particularly, or whenever they're trying to see where something is or what something is. So key word that I want people to see, yeah, because north ain't south and south ain't north and east ain't west and west ain't east. Little do people know, so they kind of got your brains a little going. Now, I want you to notice there were a lot of things that were over here. Ground plans, it says 1904, right? So Morocco wasn't even founded till 1952. So what is this? You sure this ain't the ancient Jerusalem and ancient Morocco right over here next to Illinois? California was right over here, Temple Inn, you see Japan, right? You see a bunch of little places. Hold on, you see Great Britain. Yes, this is on this land. You see Sweden, you see Cuba, you see China, you see Belgium, yup, Austria. All of these places were over here. All of these places, Italy, all of these places were over here, right on this land specifically, right? And this little thing that you see right here, you see how they got it a sky view? This is a sky view. This is this that I was just showing you. This is what this looked like from an east to west view. This is what that looked like, baby. When they got over here, that's what they saw, baby. They know what they saw, baby. Greatness. Come on, Moors, stand up. They know what they saw, baby. Greatness. You think we ain't had this whole land on lock? Come on, man. Slaves ain't built no White House, we did. We built all this. Moors did, baby. Ancient Morocco. Now, I'm gonna go back to this, because remember, if the new Morocco was founded in 1952, then there must have been the people that purchased this land and took the Jerusalem from over here and threw it over there. They took Morocco from over here and threw it over there, because we can find letters from George Washington writing to the Sultan of Morocco. So if the Morocco that's established over there in 1952, if that was just established, then this must have been the Morocco he was writing to. That's why they got Cahokia, Illinois, and you also got a Cahokia in what? Exactly, or Cairo, shall I say. You got a Cairo, Illinois, and they say the Cahokia mounds. We got a lot of mounds over here. We were mound builders. They didn't want to call us pyramid builders. They called us mound builders. Let's keep that in mind. You see, we got Tennessee over here, Idaho, fraternity, you see what I'm saying? Look at that. Virginia, Georgia. Come on, man. Like it never stops. You see, Missouri was way up here. So we in Missouri. I'm in Missouri right now, but how Missouri way up here? How is this a map of the land that I'm on right now? But Missouri is just this little teeny place next to Louisiana and Wisconsin and Ohio, New York. Why is New York all the way over here? How is New York all the way over here? Ohio, New York, Massachusetts, Minnesota. So clearly we had these places. North Jerusalem. For those who claim they're Israelites but don't even know where Israel is, this is Jerusalem, the holy city, buddy. Sorry, you got Iowa, you got Mississippi, and mind you, if you're wondering why it looks so confusing, you should be. They flipped your whole world upside down. So you see south is north, north is south, east is west, west is east. So you have to learn a whole new form of directions. And remember, that right there, if you're wondering where that compass comes from, I'll show you. The compass that you see, if you know nothing about the quote-unquote Mayan calendar, they do. It's right there, see? Make windows out of it, make all kinds of signs out of it. Let's keep that in mind. So that's where your compass comes from. This is how we knew how to navigate, right? Seeing that quote-unquote what they call Mayan calendar, what we call it the moral compass and mental magic. Of course, because we do not go by anybody else's names. Yeah, they said that we would never rise again, so hey, I just wanted to show y'all one more time so you can see just how deep this was and how good this particular land itself is. Instead of going everywhere else and looking everywhere else, remember the west is east, the east is west. The north is south, the south is north, so they just kind of had it all flipped up. They kept the symbol the same, but they put the N up here, S down here. W over here, east over there. So now you think this is the west, and we think that's the east. But really everything just kind of been what? Flipped, right? So like I said, this is in 1904, just so you can see the date, see we're not joking, that's in 1904. Now, if the new Morocco was established in 1925, March 2nd, I think, no, 1952, March 2nd, then who is that? Who is that little? And you see they got the little pyramids within there. Who is that specifically? See Jerusalem, who is that? You see a lot of these different, they say Mexican restaurant, who is that? Who and exactly what was that? You see India, you see Guatemala, you see Puerto Rico. Long before it was divided and separated into corporations and just made corporate states and corporate nations more. So going back to the actual natural nations, you see Cuba once again up in there. You see Italy. So when you see them talking about us basically running up in this or running up in that and doing that, no, we were basically right over here, buddy. See Annex, see the Philippines, right over here. All this is over here. The Philippine exhibition, you're seeing the top sky view, right? With the information right on the inside of it. Just letting y'all get a little. And you see Arrowhead Lake, right? Arrowhead Lake. You know we got Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Keep that in mind. I don't know if they got any. They got Arrowhead Lake in Kansas City, Missouri. So just letting y'all know how deep y'all history go. Who changed the names and the locations? Just go look. We didn't. The thing is, it never changed. Nobody can come and just change your home name. You know, when I came in here, they said that these were the Mississippian people. Think about that. Now, Little Egypt is not in Illinois. We need to change that around. Little Cairo is actually over there in the Egypt you believe is Egypt. This is the big Egypt. That's why everything is so ancient that it don't even look like we built pyramids over here yet you're walking on them. That's why everything is so ancient that we only know what they told us. Keep that in mind. So no, that's not no Little Egypt. Sorry, that's miseducation. Remember, you're in a school right now. And you being in that school right now, mental magic, we have to correct each other and we have to be willing to be corrected. Because remember, they flipped your mind upside down just by flipping your directions upside down. You think north is south and you think south is north. You think east is west, you think west is east. Yep. Kansas City Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium. Yep. Think about that. So no, this is not no little Egypt. This is big Morocco. This is big Egypt. This is big everything. This is why this is such a big deal. Remember, like I said over here, we got Austria over here, Sweden over here, Holland over here, Great Britain, Cuba, China, Belgium, Brazil, Nicaragua, Siam, Mexico, New York, Puerto Rico, Guatemala, India. And once again, once you look up Morocco, for those who are still confused, look up Morocco, and the one that they established was March 2nd, 1952. This clearly cannot be that because this is 1904, so they were dealing with information long before they created anything new. Let's keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I keep telling people, yeah, everything has been flipped on us, and as everything has been flipped on us, it's our job to flip it back. Because like I said, we had forests, we had a lot of things. Look at that, South African boar exhibit. Oh, but this ain't Africa? You sure? South African boar. Oh, okay. Okay, so this land ain't, okay. So this, Jerusalem ain't over here for all the Israelites that's confused, right? We got a lot of people over here that's confused, right? We claim Egypt ain't over here for all the Cometics that's confused still, right? Everybody just confused and they don't want to realize the greatness of this land. We're just looking to take it or send it everywhere. We so quick to disrespect our land instead of accepting it. Look at this, Asia was over here, and these are routes. Right, these are routes. You see transit loop, like we had train stations, we had all that. Wabash Terminal, the plazas, we had all of that. So it wasn't like we was no bums when they came over here. We wasn't no bums like many people think. Look at that, it says U.S. government. Look, we had our own little government and everything, right? It didn't say United States of America government, it just said U.S. government. And it says Government Hill, and then right above the government terrace was Missouri. That's where I'm at now. Louisiana, like I said, Wisconsin. You got Washington. Ain't no Washington, D.C., just say Washington. You see Vermont, you see New Hampshire, you see Michigan. You see a lot of places over here. You see Texas. Look at the star on Texas. Don't it look like a turtle island? Uh-oh. You see how it look like a turtle? That's the Moore star right there, but they just centered it out right there. So it looks like a turtle. Here goes the head. Here goes the legs. Turtle. You see Kentucky right there. You see Germany. Oh, but y'all thought all these lands wasn't together. They separated everything. South Dakota, Cahokia, Oregon, Swedenborg. Where's some more at? Mexico, of course, Virginia, Maine, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Indiana. Like I said, New Jerusalem, Indiana Territory, Utah, that came from Putah. Arizona was right over here. So yes. For you that still think our land is everywhere else but here, wake up. For you that still think our stuff is everywhere else but here, wake up. For you to think that we divided and now you see why there are dark people in France, dark people in Brazil, dark people in Nicaragua, dark people in Mexico, dark people in Austria, dark people in Sweden, dark people in Holland, Cairo, dark people. More so, this is old St. Louis, letting you know, so there must be a new St. Louis. Here goes ancient Rome. Oh, you thought Rome was over there? You thought Rome was over there? Rome was never over there. They just put Rome over there. Here goes Japan. We got Japan over here. That's why you see melanated people in Japan. Asia was over here. Irish village was over here. Tyrolean Alps right there. And this is just the present, you see, you were here, present location of the Missouri History Museum, blah, 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 blah. So, yep, everything was over here. This is what they won't tell you. Congress of Nations and Rough Riders of the world. Congress of Nations and Rough Riders of the world. Tunnel under tracks. See, we had some thieves. Before Harriet Tubman, we had some real thieves. Congress of Nations and Rough Riders. They called themselves Rough Riders. So we had Rough Riders before DMX. What? Right? I'm a dark like this. Right? Look at that. They got the word creation right by there too. What creation of what? You see that Target? You see that Mayan calendar looking like thing? And it say Siberian Railroad. You got China right there. Oh, you thought all this stuff was over there though? I know, y'all. I know. Let's just walk through our land real quick. Oh, we had it. Look up the Louisiana Purchase. This is all that was purchased and changed. As you purchase something, you could change it. Right? As you purchase something, you could change it. Keep that in mind. Look at that. Conquest of 19. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Physical culture. Oh, look, we had athletic fields. Oh, snap. Look at that. Look at that. Y'all see that? So once again, yes, your stuff. If you are confused, I'm going to leave you with this. I don't care what you say. They got they tell you where to go. They tell you what's north. They tell you what's south. They tell you what's east. They tell you what's west. Just like they tell you who your friends are, and they tell you who your enemies are. Just like they tell you what your history is. They tell you what your future is. If you allow them to keep controlling everything about you, oh yeah, there goes Canada. For those who think Canada was above us, nope. They took all of the names from these places that we already had. Keep that in mind, and they just placed it to lands that we already owned. I just want y'all to know that. So once again, everything is over here. Everything was over here, and it always will be over here, regardless of whether they move the physical name of it. Keep in mind, like I said, we own everything. So once again, change your direction in life. Change your direction in your mind. Change your direction of how you treat your family. Change your direction of how you look at history, your story. Change your direction of everything. And when you're reading about these different places, don't attach your mind to where they physically are today. That's what they want you to do. So when you're reading about Morocco and the Moors, they want you to think about the new Morocco that was established in 1952. They don't want you to know about the ancient Morocco that's always been right over here. They don't want you to know about the ancient Morocco and the ancient Moroccans. The same with the Jerusalem and Israelites. Jesus walked over here. When you hear about all of those stories about when Jesus walked into Spain and Italy and Germany, France, and right, that was right over here, buddy. All of that happened right over here. That was never overseas like most people assume. That was never overseas, because remember, if this is the West and they got everything flipped, then that's the West, and this is the East. So since they flipped everything, now we look at our place as the West, and we look at that as the East, not realizing everything has been flipped, and we look at the South as the North, and the North as the South. But here's proof that they never used to have that like that, and they knew if they flipped all these places around, they would have to flip this. Keep that in mind. They knew if they took your information and they flipped all of these places around, they would have to flip this, because South can't be North and North can't be South. East can't be West and West can't be East. So they had to, once they did all that, kind of put the icing on the cake. So keep that in mind when you are reading in these books. And this was in 1904. So just how we proved just with the simple Morocco itself, this wasn't established. You can look up and see when all these dates was established. March 2nd, 1952. So what was this? Who was this? Where was this? What about this? What's all these symbols, right? What's really going on here, right? You sure this was in Africa too? What's really going on, right? Like, tell me something. I want y'all to tell me something. I want y'all to tell me something. The fine arts, the festivals. See, we used to run our own festivals, you know. Had our little annex fine arts, you know, it was beautiful, man. So when you hear about these places, the lagoon, when you hear about these places, look at that. Electricity and machinery, varied industries, transportation, machinery, steam, gas, fuel building, manufacture. So we was doing business, liberal arts. Oh, we was doing big business, baby. These was universities. Mines and metallurgy. Look at that. See, we had our own little stuff going on, but many people don't grasp. We had our own little government over here. So stop. Just read it. Read it and accept it, man. Read it and put yourself back together. Whenever you're hearing about Jerusalem, once again, it's your stuff. Whenever you're hearing about Morocco, it's not only your stuff, it's over here. Whenever you're hearing about them talking about Puerto Rican, Guatemalan, India, France, when you hear about Moors going into France and all that, right, Germany, remember all of that was over here. All of that used to be over here. Italy, Cuba, Belgium, China, Great Britain. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But the main thing that I want you to focus on is this. Main thing that I want you to focus on, because that was the center. That was the center. You think it's a coincidence why that was in the center? You think that was a coincidence right by the river? Right by the river, going up the river, the trail, as they say? Keep that in mind. And this was long before. And this is what it looked like, just to give you a mental image. I'm going to leave y'all with this mental image. If you want to know the greatness of what our land looked like and how big our ancestors did it, here you go. Here you go. This is what it looked like before the White House, big baby. Here you go. Here you go. These type of universities we going to right now, baby, yup. The globe should be shrinking. Everything should be shrinking. Let's keep that in mind. This is what it used to look like, baby. That's what it used to look like. Now, Morocco is really the whole land. I'm just telling you where, like, our headquarters was more so in the Illinois area, in the Missouri area. That's all. That's why they had to get it. That's why it was so important. The Louisiana Purchase is so important. Look at that. Greatness, baby. This is over here. This is not overseas. This is over here. This is not overseas, baby. Over here. Look at that greatness. This is what it used to look like. We wasn't always slaves over here. We wasn't always slaves over here. So I love y'all. Y'all take care. Wanted to leave you with this greatness so y'all could just see just how big you did it and think about it, right? If you want to know the importance of history, this is the importance of it. You got to know this right here. You don't have to go overseas. People coming overseas to see what you have done. People coming overseas to see what your ancestors have accomplished. This is real greatness. Like, this is real right here. This is, y'all see him skipping the video? Look, everything was here. Let's just stop the confusion. I'm just before I leave this video, and there's still more confusion, just for those who don't get it still. Okay, I'm gonna start back over. This is the ground plans, because they wasn't using their minds, so these are ground plans. We make sky plans because we're from the sky. These are the ground plans of the Louisiana Purchase Exposition in St. Louis, Missouri, 1904. Now, knowing that this is in 1904 and this is a map, a ground view map, this is a map of this land. If you look up the Louisiana Purchase, they're talking about just the whole middle portion of the land itself. And they had to take the names out of the actual maps when you look on Google because they were renaming things. I mean, what do you think? If they have to, because if you look up the Morocco, if that's 1904, like they say, why is the Morocco that they have today founded in March 2nd, 1952? So one is a corporation, one was a nation of people, right? A tribe of people. The same when you go, like I said, you got New York down here, Great Britain over here. Like, how did all these places ended up over here all of a sudden just get separated and spread it as the corporation starts spreading? Great Britain, Cuba, China, South African. So clearly somebody knew something about this land more than what they were saying. Jerusalem, so many books about Jerusalem and the things that happened in Jerusalem, but they don't want you to know the place, the actual holy place. So therefore you go to a holy place and you kind of treat it like shit, like a lot of y'all do. A lot of y'all really don't give a damn about this land. But as soon as you go somewhere else, you want to pay it respect. Like, that's not respect to this land. The land ain't never did nothing to you. Got Mexico right here, Siam right here, Nicaragua right here, France right here, Puerto Rico, Guatemala, India, Italy. These are all the places where you hear about the Moors, quote unquote, civilizing, and now we just act uncivilized, right? We didn't lose our land, we lost our damn name. Holland, Sweden, Austria, like everything. Look, everything. Cairo. Before we keep thinking old St. Louis, right? You know, you got New Orleans, New York, knew this, knew that, right? Japan, everything was here. Japan wasn't even Japan before they came here. China wasn't China till they came here. Like, realize that. Here's Alaska. Like, everything was over here. Everything. But this is the main thing I want you to focus on. Morocco, Jerusalem. Got Illinois, California, Temple Inn, and like I said, Idaho. Man, it's just everywhere. Look at that, agriculture, horticulture. Just letting you know where we did certain things. Just hipping y'all, man, it's just a little quick history. Just a little quick history, morons. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. Flip your minds, man. As you flip your minds, you flip your heart. Y'all enjoy yourself. Go check out them other videos if you still don't get it. Yeah, this is the motherland. It's the cradle of civilization. Do that there, do that. If y'all want to actually enroll in our school, go look up Mental Magic on Facebook. Inbox us with your phone number, email address. We're going to have a lot more things like this coming. But for right now, we just wanted to enjoy this moment with you. So I'm going to get back to my family. Y'all get back to yours.